and a Financing podcast. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing Naomi Granger of Dope CFO. Ms. Granger is a co-founder of Dope CFO, the leader in cannabis accounting and tax. Ms. Granger and her co-founder, Andrew Huizinga, provided the only national training program for CPAs, enrolled agents, MBAs, bookkeepers, and CFOs who want to serve in the cannabis industry. Their program has almost 200 students in 40 states who joined via webinar. Welcome to the show, Naomi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're really excited. I know the cannabis industry is growing by leaps and bounds, and we're really happy that you're on. So you have an impressive career background. You have worked in public accounting along with many Fortune 500 companies. You are a certified public accountant, and you have your MBA from none other than Florida A&M University. Go Rattlers! Please share with us. I went to FAMU as well, so I'm pretty amped about what you're doing. So please share with us your journey to co-founding an accounting and tax service company for those in the cannabis industry, and how did your career prepare you for Dope CFO?
Thanks. Awesome. That's an excellent question. So when I left Florida A&M, I went straight into public accounting, and I worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I was there for about 4 years, and then I kind of bounced around. I did some corporate accounting. I did some consulting. So I did SEC filing and audits for over 12 years, and then I got to a point where I was just tired of working out of an office in a cubicle. I really wanted to be able to take vacations when I wanted to. I was tired of asking permission to go to a doctor's appointment or take a day off or work from home. I wanted freedom and flexibility in my schedule, and I wanted to be able to travel the world, and I figured that I could no longer do it as an accountant. So I started doing a lot of research on starting online businesses, online marketing, all those types of things. And for a minute, I left corporate, and I was just taking training and learning. I thought I just needed to do a whole different career path. And then I came across a training program that taught me how to create a remote accounting firm. And one of the main key lessons in that training was, in order to really have a scale your business and have a really successful practice, you have to pick one niche and become an expert in that one niche. And so I bounced around. I couldn't really figure out. There was no niche that I was passionate about. I looked at real estate brokerages. I looked at professional athletes. I looked at manufacturers. Then I got to a point where I was like, anybody who needs help, I just need money. I haven't been working for a while. And so then I came across the cannabis niche, and it just took off immediately. Within the first month, I was speaking on stages. I had established myself as an expert pretty quickly, and then we started teaching and training other people, because once they started seeing me and my partner out there killing it, they wanted in, and people were asking questions. So at the beginning, we were giving advice for free, and then down the road, we created this training program, and so we train other accountants how to do cannabis accounting.
Okay. I appreciate your honesty, because, a lot of times in entrepreneurship, people say, find your passion, find what you're passionate about. And it takes time for you to find that niche for yourself. How long did it take you from when you left corporate to, Dope CFO?
That took 2 years.
Okay.
I was unemployed for 2 years.
Yeah. But, cannabis industry, I think you really hit the right path, because it's growing by leaps and bounds. And for some of the listeners who are just getting started in their business and they're trying to figure out what to focus on, how did you learn how to prioritize the most important aspects of your business?
So the biggest thing that I learned when I left corporate was that I needed to work first on my mindset and really figure things out for myself, because we are taught that things are supposed to go and be done a certain way through 12 years of school, and then through another, however, 4 to 6 years of college. We are taught how to be employees. We're taught how to listen for a bell and follow rules, and how to be perfect and not make any mistakes for your employer, and all these things. And first thing, I had to learn that it's okay to make mistakes. that's the only way you can figure out the solution is if you do things wrong up front.
Right.
And so
Wow.
I had to do I had to do a lot of deep work. I had to really understand. I had to really believe in myself. I had to really know deep within that I can do it, that I am worth more, that there is a lot more out there for me, and if whatever it is that I want, I can obtain. And it took a lot for me to just believe in myself for that. And so the key thing I did was I invested in myself. So I spent all those years in school, and then I had to start over and go back to school and relearn how to think for myself, how to think
Wow.
like an entrepreneur, how to believe in myself. So so I invested in training programs. So for those 2 years, I wasn't working, but I was investing tens of thousands of dollars in training, training for online businesses, training for mindset, all of that.
That is so true. When you really think about it, you know how they always say that you're taught to color inside the lines. And that K through 12 education is really teaching you to think a certain way. And when you go into entrepreneurship, it's so different. And you kind of set your own, chart your own course. I found that just for myself as well. It was a big learning curve, because you're responsible for yourself, and then you also have to figure out how to make money at the way that you think is the best way to do it and how you feel comfortable. And so that, I think for me, that was a big challenge as well, too, because there are a lot of opportunities, but it has to fit what, your talents, your strengths, and how you work.
Yeah, and through working for a corporation or a company, you're always told what you're worth. You're told what this position pays. You're told if you're accepted for a raise or a promotion or whatever. And then when you become an entrepreneur, the most empowering thing is the moment that you tell somebody, I can do this for you, and this is how much they charge, and they say, sure, let's go for it. It's like I felt like I made money out of thin air, like I just pulled money out of thin air. I made up something like, okay, this is what I'm worth, this is what it's going to look like, and this is how much it costs. And when people sign those contracts, that was the most empowering thing. Then that's when I knew that, I could do this.
Yeah, and it's a skill set that I believe everybody needs to learn how to make money for themselves, and it's not something that's necessarily taught in school. So to see that you can do it for yourself, that is very empowering. So that leads me just to a question. Yeah. How do you go about finding your first customer in the cannabis industry, and how did you know there was a need for it?
So so with social media these days, a lot of people use social media. It is so powerful. I have made multiple six figures on social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, on Instagram, you name it. Put yourself out there, tell people what you're doing, and then reach out to people. So to find your first cannabis client, they're everywhere. So you can look on LinkedIn. They have LinkedIn profiles. You can look on trade publications, online journals, online magazines, trade shows. There's a trade show at least once a month somewhere in the country with cannabis because it's just so hot and so new. I haven't really just went by, because I live in Nevada, so it's legal. We have dispensaries everywhere. I haven't really just went by and walked in the dispensary to ask because I just figured the person wouldn't be there. But But yeah, so just networking at the trade shows and things, and then from once you meet your first person and once you we started speaking on stages. So we speak at a lot of these trade shows across the country, and we meet business owners there, and then they, word of mouth gets around. People say, hey, I saw the dope CFO. They really gave us some good information. You should check them out. And so eventually we only really marketed for 1 month. After that, people started coming to us. And the reason why it was a little bit easier for us, this isn't how it works in every single business, but it was a lot easier for us because there aren't a lot of accountants who will actually take on cannabis companies.
Right.
A lot of accountants are afraid of the risk, and so they have a hard time finding accountants that will take them on. Right.
And also, your name is such a catchy company, Dope CFO.
Thank you.
You think of marijuana, but you also think of like hip hop culture. That's dope. So that's a pretty neat name. Well, what are
Yep.
some of the biggest accounting challenges you find that cannabis business owners face on a daily basis? I know that, state by state is legal, and I'm sure that could be a big issue. And if they want to reinvest in another company, I'm not sure how that works. It just seems
Mhm.
very uh, unclear of how they could use their funds.
Yeah, so the biggest challenges are, number one, it's still federally illegal, and so
Hmm.
they have issues with getting banking. They can't get a bank account. So how are you going to run a multi-million-dollar company with cash? Um,
Right.
that's one of the biggest issues. And then not only can't they get a bank account, most financial service providers won't service them. They can't just get Stripe account or a PayPal account or a POS, QuickBooks POS systems in their stores. They have to find software that is actually cannabis friendly and will actually take their cash. Simple things like payroll processing, payroll companies won't service them. Accounting
Wow.
software won't service them. And the companies that will service them are like brand new to the market. And so a lot of them have a lot of bugs and kinks in their software. And so you have reconciliation issues and nightmares. And there's just a lot of things that aren't really clean when it comes to this industry because they're heavily cash and the software is just subpar that actually will handle their transactions.
Wow. That just seems like a big hurdle every which way. I just can't imagine opening
Yeah.
a dispensary. You can't find a POS system. Like, that is mind-boggling. How do they operate?
Yeah. Yeah, they operate either by cash and manual data entry, and you do have instances like we've had clients where they thought they found a POS system, but that POS system did not disclose to their own bank that they were operating cannabis companies, and then when their bank found this out, they just completely shut them down across the
Oh my
country.
gosh.
So our owner opens shop the next day, and their POS system is completely down and shut down. So now they're scrambling, trying to figure out how we're going to run business today and finding a new one.
So a lot of these dispensaries, I'm sure they just have a regular cash register and they just write down their, do it manually in Excel probably.
So there are some. One is called Greenbit. That's one that a lot of our clients use.
Okay.
So they do it. So there are POS systems. The only thing is they're brand new to the market. They've only been operating for 2 years, and so their reports are not easy to follow. Their information is not always accurate inside their reports, so it's just a lot of bugs and kinks still in that software.
Right. Well, it seems like a wide open space, especially because a lot of accountants don't want to deal with this industry because it's federally illegal. But what opportunities exist? I know you guys train a lot of professionals. What opportunities exist for individuals who would like to learn the accounting practices in the cannabis industry? Someone out there who may have a bookkeeping service, or they might be an accountant and they want to add this to their services. What opportunities do you think they have there?
Yeah, there's tons of opportunities. So first you have a big. This is a huge industry. It's nearly a $20 billion industry, legal, and then they're estimating upwards of $70 billion in the black market or the illegal market that's still operating in the country. And so, but I mean, we wouldn't handle the illegal market at all. I wouldn't touch that at all. But for the legal market, there's a $20 billion industry. So right now, we are the only company that's actually teaching accounting in this space because nobody knows. It's still being developed. Laws are still being developed. It's still federally illegal. There are 33 states that have it medically legal, and then 11 of those 33 states are also recreational or adult use and medical. And so there's an opportunity to go into these different states. No matter where you are in the country, you can be in any state, an illegal state, and it's a completely remote business. So you can go and get clients. If you live in Texas, you can hit up Oklahoma because Texas is illegal, but Oklahoma just issued 3,000 licenses last summer. And
right.
And Oklahoma is a very conservative state. A lot of those accountants don't even want to touch this. And so there's a huge need for accountants in that space. So you don't have to be a CPA. You don't have to have any special certification because you're not going to learn cannabis accounting on your CPA exam. You're not going to learn it on your EA exam. You're we're the only people that are teaching it right now. And so this is something that you're just going to learn from the School of Hard Knocks. We learned because there's a court case that was just filed that says, this company, this